Yes. So the quote that we shared earlier is prioritizing sharpens your vision so you can focus on the most important things. So prioritizing sharpens your vision so you can focus on the most important things.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. So thinking back to just our little time of accountability and our intentions that we just had, if there was a priority within that space, did you do that priority, or did you lead off and go into some other area? So I could have easily done something else instead of went to my florist and got that taken care of. I could have said, oh, I'll go there tomorrow, or I'll go there later today. And if you were working on a certain task or creating something, is there a sequence that you always do something? Or is it a priority to do one thing because you don't really like it? Sometimes I feel like we do that and we self-sabotage ourselves. So I know Becky was finishing her lunch when we were leaving. So I'm sure she finished that and then moved on to her next project. And Susie was working on the journal and she continued. So any reflection on that?
When I'm creating the journal, I know now because I've got 11 months of it, under my belt, and I know which pages take longer and which pages I want to invest more of myself in, because every single coloring page has got something behind it. So it's either to connect us to that creative side for the people that are getting the journal, to connect to the creative side and the things that could be harder for us, but then also to represent the highlighted leader in the journal. And so for the coloring pages, that's really where I get to highlight each person. And so I typically do that first, like make sure that the colors are right and everything like that. So I set up the first part of it that doesn't really change, and then I do the coloring pages, because it takes me the longest. And then I get to go to the easy stuff again. So I kind of Oreo it. I start with easy, go to the not so it's far away from hard, but it takes the most energy, right? And then I go to the easy at the end. So that's kind of how I prioritize creating the vision for the journal.
So I often find myself doing the things I don't like to do to get them off my table first, and then end up with the things that I really enjoy doing. And sometimes it makes it seem like it's taking longer because of your thought process behind it, or it might be more of a challenge for you to do something. And that's why you don't like doing it as much. And other things just come more naturally and quicker. So I feel like having that kind of sequence and having that written down, we really have that added bonus of seeing the award along the way of the finished product or the finished appointment, or just a household task that we might have on hand. And before it gets too overwhelming, we take care of it immediately. And I feel like that can make a big difference even in our overall vision. Like what's this little stuff cluttering up some of the vision, or we got it organized enough to keep it in the forefront. Becky, any other reflection, or Susie?
I definitely tend to prioritize by you know, where can I get a quick win? Like I need a win first to do my hard things. So when you're like, I go for my hard things first, I'm like, oh, I need to have one like that I know I can kind of ease into and get a check mark and then go for the hard things. So I think I may be more of like an Oreo person too. You know, I kind of bring them in outside in the beginning because I like the bonus at the end too. But I need to have that first like win to build up the momentum for like the harder things. I rarely ever start with my hard thing first. So
I
yeah.
find that when I do my hard thing first, it's like everything else is amazing after. And it's a great reminder when I want to put the hard thing off of how good I felt, yesterday or the day before. And it's like that's enough encouragement for me to make sure that's the number one thing.
So one last thing that I'll say about that too for me is what I know from like doing the 75 hard challenge and stuff like that, like the days that I did do like my reading first, because that tends to be the real challenge for me, like going for a walk, that's more of the easy part for me. But right, like the reading is the thing. The days that I did do it first, I almost felt like I needed to find something else that was hard. Like after I do the hard thing first, then I'm actually like, oh, I need to do harder things than that. And I'm kind of searching for something to stop me up, which is interesting because I like to do hard things, but then that's part of the problem is that then I feel like I'm not doing enough because that was so easy. So then I can kind of sabotage myself that way. So
Wow.
something to think about.
Yes, and that's actually so interesting you say that, because most of the time I think we would be so grateful that that's done, and you are excited that you did that, but then maybe it's more of a routine thing. You're used to doing it at a certain point too.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Well, we are at top of the hour here, and let's see, hit the button.